What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over the weekly energy for all signs, Aries through Pisces, for the week of January the 12th through the 18th, 2026. Now, for those of you that don't know, my name is Tia, and I do weekly tarot readings for all signs every week, like this, as well as monthly tarot readings and collective moon readings. Now, I have not did the Cancer full moon reading yet, so I should get on that. It should be posted the same week I post this. But for the most part, I think the Capricorn one coming up as well. So I'll just go ahead and get a start on that as well. But for the most part, weekly tarot readings, monthly tarot readings, as well as collective moon readings. So if you're interested in any of those things that I mentioned, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, I do vlogs and podcast episodes depending on how things are, or like, if I want to just throw something fresh in there. But for the most part, let's go ahead and get started for this week. All right. What's coming up for all signs, Aries through Pisces, for the week of January the 12th through the 18th, 2026? What is it that they need to know? What is it that they need to hear? I'm still getting used to saying 2026, so bear with me if I have a slip of the tongue. What's coming up for all signs, Aries through Pisces, for the week of January the 12th through the 18th, 2026? What is it that they need to know? What is it that they need to hear? Any messages for those that come across this video before or after? What is it that they need to know in regards to this week, or just in general? Because even though I read for the week, you guys, I usually just it does not necessarily have a timestamp, but just basically whatever energy comes about for the week. Think of it like a monthly newsletter, a weekly newsletter or some shit. What's coming up for all signs, Aries through Pisces, for the week of January the 12th through 18th, 2026? What's coming up for them? What is it they need to know? What is it that they need to hear? Anything that I can relate to them to the best of my ability. What is it that they need to know? What is it that they need to hear for this week? I get 4 more shuffles. What's coming up for all signs, Aries through Pisces, for the week of January the 12th through the 18th, 2026? What's coming up for them for this week? What is it that they need to hear? What is it that they need to know? What is it that I can relate to them? Anything in regards if they come across this before or after. 3. It's coming up for all signs, Aries through Pisces, for the week of January the 12th through the 18th, 2026. 4. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. Hope you guys like this angle. I have a little table space here, so I'll be able to, like, if you see me looking to the side, that's why. Alright, what's coming up for Aries this week? Okay, that literally... You're releasing your control over something and you're cooperating. You're giving, it's like you're giving something to something this week. Like you're not going to be holding back anything. You're going to be more so giving to a situation. What's coming up for Aries this week? King of Pentacles. Could be something monetarily in nature. Could be given an opportunity to something. But it seems like you're going to commit to something seriously. I don't think you're going to be like half-assing anything in particular. I just get that you're releasing your control or releasing the need to hold back any type of effort or any type of thing that you put into something. Also, I get that you're going to be more so finding yourself feeling solid or just solid or having things together. I just get that like you're not going to be as all over the place. Now, I could get that like you may be committing to somebody else in a romantic way, but it also could be like you're committing to, let's say, New Year's start, whatever, and you're thinking about just going ahead and committing to your goals. I think you're going to find yourself more so wanting to commit to your goals and not like holding back your efforts. So you just, I guess you're not going to half bake anything. Why the Strength reverse here? 2 cards fell out. I can also read it as this. If there was some sort of injustice that was done to you, whether it was something where someone was being vindictive or where you felt as though you were cheated, it seems as though that energy of, or that heaviness of that situation, especially if it was some sort of betrayal of some sort, you're not going to allow that to hold you back. In fact, I think you're going to find yourself slowly but surely releasing that energy, releasing that burden of feeling like you are stuck on whatever injustice it was. So for example, let's just say you're not necessarily going to allow a situation that happened to you in the past stop you from actually progressing forward or enjoying what is here. Like, you're not going to paint everything at the same brush. Like, this situation may have fucked you over, but this situation does not automatically mean that the situation in the future is going to fuck you over. That makes sense. I think you're really going to be standing more confident, feeling more empowered, feeling more like yourself after you release this burden, whether it be emotionally or like physically. I just feel as though you're going to be releasing injustices or releasing anything that really did not do you any type of good. Why the King of Pentacles? And I think you're going to be standing more solid in yourself here. Yeah, you're going to be gaining a new perspective. I think you're going to feel more grounded as well. You're not going to feel as all over the place. You may be saving a lot more or feeling like you reserving your energy for things that are actually more worth your time and your energy. But I do get ultimately, Aries, I see you literally just going with the flow and get like healing from the past situations or releasing the memory. Not saying you're releasing the memory, but you're releasing that that past pain or releasing that whatever type of hold that injustice had on you. So let's see, one more card for Aries this week. You made a decision, and I think ultimately you're going to come back around to something. I can also read it as this because I don't know why I got this. It seems as though you're swallowing your pride in regards to something because the Knight of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, and you're going to come back around to something. Even though, like, ultimately you really did not really see yourself doing that. Let me get more clarification. Why the Ten of Wands reverse, actually? Why the Ten of Wands reverse? You're persevering through. Something really put a bad taste in your mouth, Aries, but it seems as though you're going to push through it. So it seemed like, for example, you're having to work with someone that fucked you over or is messing things up. But it seems as though if you were to pull out of this, you will be up the creek without a paddle. So it seems as though you're gritting your teeth and you're trying to push past whatever this is. But you made a decision. Let's see. Why the Two of Swords reverse? Why is that there? Communication. To communicate, to speak your mind. Are you disconnecting from somebody or releasing someone from your energy, Aries? You're no longer working on this because whatever this is, this person brought conflict, this person brought confusion, and it was like you really tried to push past it, but it seemed as though every time it just kept popping up in your face. You try to forget about it, something reminds you of it, or they do something else that's even worse. So it seemed as though you was just on a yo-yo type effect. I think you're really making a decision to communicate letting someone go this week, or just in general whenever you come across this. If this is your story, you could be a person that is over organization if you are, or you could be good communication that you're being released from something, Aries. It just depends. But I just get ultimately this is your reading. So I sense that someone in this reading, you or someone else, is thinking about releasing somebody due to some sort of injustice, and also bring back some sort of peace and harmonization in a situation. Especially after gaining a new perspective and knowing that, like, this is the best pathway forward out of a situation. So that's what I get ultimately, Aries. Hopefully I try to break it down the best way I know how. Whenever I'm in a new environment, like a new space trying to read, it's like I'm having to adjust because, yeah, so hopefully that reading made sense to you, Aries. Taurus, what's coming up for you this week? An ending. Communication about an ending. Communication about some sort of release. Let's see what this is about. What's coming up for you this week, Taurus? Moving on. An ending and moving on. You're cutting your losses here. It's simply because you have no more emotion to give to the situation here. I don't think you're just letting it go just to let it go. You just really don't have nothing else in you to keep this going. Why the Death card here? Why the Death card here? That really flew out here. I actually like this angle, but I hate that I don't have a lot of space. Let me bring this forward. Sorry, towards me. So that way it won't keep falling on the floor here. Okay, perfect. All right, Queen of Pentacles reverse. You're keeping your cards close to your chest. I think you're going to really not outwardly outsource yourself. You're really putting it into things. Let's see, one more card, why the Death card here. Communicating or like going back and forth. So if you was involved in some sort of verbal match or some sort of verbal like altercation, I just get that you no longer want to feed into it. You no longer want to like put your like, you just want to heal from the situation and move on. And it seems as though if you try to communicate or if you try to fight fire with fire, it just don't get anywhere. I mean, not against you saying like, oh, I can't speak my peace. You can still speak your peace, Taurus. But if it's at a cost to where like it's putting you in an unsavory feeling or unsavory situation and it's not helping the situation, I sense that you may be pulling back your energy, because the Queen of Pentacles is reversed here, clarifying the Death card. You're going to put it into like going back and forth with someone. You're just going to want to heal from it, whatever this is. While the Chariot, you want to move on from it, of course. Let's see. I get someone coming back around heavily. Now, if you were to look at the Chariot card, if you were looking at what I'm looking, the Chariot card is looking this way here, and the Death card is looking this way. It seemed like they're, and if you look at the Death card on my card here, let me pull it up here. If you look at the Death card, it's beaming this way, like it looks like it's about to stab, and the Chariot card is coming this way, which looks like it's about to run right into it. So it seems as though something, if I'm looking at it this way, someone's going to come back around to some sort of conflict or some sort of ending here. So, or to get some sort of clarification, because if you also look at the Chariot card, you can see the hand on this person's head, like confused. It's like, okay, let me figure out why I need to come back around to this. Like I'm confused over what this person said, because this person looked confused on this card here. So I get that it's being clarified by the Six of Swords reverse. So I get that someone's really coming back around to something. Why the Six of Swords reverse? They want to reconnect with you, especially after a period of being detached or after a period of not really doing anything. Someone wants to come back around to you. But I get ultimately, you may not feel like the need to actually open up that can of worms with whoever this is. Could be a Cancer or a Gemini. It does not necessarily have to be. Or Scorpio or Earth sign. Possible air. I get all signs, but the ones that are prominent, Scorpio, Cancer, and Gemini. But I get ultimately you're over the back and forth with whatever person this is and you just want to heal and move on. Whereas this person may want to come back around and communicate to you. They want to come out of hiding or come out of out of the dead phase between the two of you and try to offer something solid, or offer something like that is committable or tangible. But I just get ultimately you may not be in the mood to actually do it, because every time you communicate with this person, it seems as though it's just like it just don't go anywhere. And your energy is spent on trying to communicate with this person. But I don't think this person is catching the hint, if I'm being quite honest with you, Taurus. Why the Five of Swords reverse? Why the Five of Swords reverse? Why the Five of Swords reverse? Hold on. Why the Five of Swords reverse? Why the Five? Oh, shit. Three of Cups. You don't want to reconcile with this person. Or, I can say this. Let it like put the... Okay, I can say this. There's a population of you Tauruses that want to put this to rest. Ultimately, and just be done with it and just focus on their own self-healing. Then there's another population of Tauruses that may want to reconcile and put the past behind them. So basically, water under the bridge. So if this person were to come back around, there are some Tauruses that may be like, okay, we can move on from this, or we can work something out from this. Then I can also read as this, like after a period of like not interacting with you guys, like you two interacting, it helped to clear the air, or it helped to like, you know, help stuff simmer down. I don't know if I got that for you last week or something like that, Taurus, but I got where it was, I think it was for you because it sounds similar, where when it's too much stuff going on you're not going to necessarily know like what to do in a situation when there's a lot of moving parts, right? So if you're in the midst of that whole thing, you're not going to really come up with a solution, let alone you're not going to really be able to think. So I did get for either, I think it was you or it could be another sign, but I did get that someone had to take a step back. Either you or both of you had to take a step back in order to like regroup, recalibrate, and come back correct. So y'all can communicate and actually get somewhere versus like constantly going back and forth and not being able to hear the other person out, if that makes sense. So why the Lovers card here? Why the Lovers card here? To the Wands reverse. Yeah, they want to put the past behind them. I think like they ultimately, whoever this is, or you or this other person or both, wants to put the past behind them or let this stuff go. Like they don't want it to be toxic between the two of you. They actually want to have like this burden off. Like they don't want to hold or carry this over. They just want things to be move on. They just want things to progress. They don't want things to like, you know, be stagnant between the two of you. They want some forward movement. They want some changes. They want something to go. So I just get ultimately there is someone that may come back around that wanted to communicate and reconcile and, you know, reconnect with you. But there's also you who probably may not be open to reconnecting, but after some time, there is some Tauruses that may want to reconnect. One more card for Taurus. Yeah, there's an apology to be had or some sort of forgiveness to be had in a situation here. Forward movement. But I get ultimately someone may just like free themselves from the situation and just not give to it. And I think this is mostly coming from your side here, Taurus. So if someone were to come back around, you might not have the same energy that you had before with this person, okay? So that's what I get for you this week, Taurus. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Gemini, what's coming up for you this week? You're committing to not doing shit. The reason I say that the Hierophant pulled up and the Magician reverse came about with the Fool behind it. You're committing to not doing shit. Let's get more clarification. What's coming up for you this week, Gemini? Shit. What's coming up for you this week, Gemini? Temperance. You're not acknowledging something. I get that you're ignoring something intentionally, like you're not giving to something. Six of Wands reversed at the bottom of the deck with the Temperance card. You can see how the person on this Temperance card is tending to their own glass of wine, looking down, minding their business. I just get that you're going to mind your own business this week. Let's see. Why the Hierophant, though? You're ignoring something. You're not giving attention to something. Why the Hierophant reverse? Queen of Wands. Yeah, you're going to be committing to yourself. Or I can read it as this. You may be obsessing over something. Let's see. Why the Queen of Wands here? Okay. Gemini, this could be you. And you may be trying to put on an act. You may really want to commit to someone, but you're acting like you don't. You're acting like you don't want to give to something here. Why the Temperance card here? You're not someone's... Let's see, why the Temperance card here? Injustice. Knight of Pentacles. But there's a blockage here. Someone's not really clearing the air. Why the Justice card reverse? 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 Shit. Okay. There's a lack of control. Okay. Gemini, I get multiple stories. So I get that you may want to commit to somebody. You may want to, you see something with somebody or someone, or vice versa. Someone sees something long term with you. The issue is someone just don't care anymore. It could be you or the other person. Someone just don't care anymore. The reason I say this is because the Temperance card is here being clarified by the Emperor's reverse, the Emperor reverse, the Justice card in reverse, and the Knight of Pentacles reverse, which tells me this cycle is just no longer like someone just don't care anymore. And I get ultimately with the Emperor and the Emperor's reverse, those are a pair. Y'all not on the same page. One person may think, okay, we can make this work. The other person may think, no, we can't make this work. I just get ultimately someone just lost control and someone don't see no growth and expansion in the situation any further due to some sort of injustice that has transpired between the two of you. One more card for Gemini this week. The Chariot, someone's moving on. They don't have nothing else to give to it. In fact, I don't think they're budging. You may not be budging or they're not budging. I just get ultimately someone just don't give a fuck anymore. Why the Chariot? They just don't care. Either you or this other person don't care. Knight of Wands. Yeah, they want to move on. Like, they're tired. Like, I just get ultimately someone just don't care anymore. Someone may want something with the other person, but I guess it's too little too late. You want to show this effort now, it's too late to show that effort. Why the Ten of Cups here? Not interested. That literally flew up right. Not interested, but someone's obsessed. Someone's obsessed though. There's a level of obsession here. Someone may act like it, and then there's a population. Someone may act like they don't give a fuck, but they do give a fuck. I just get two different types of energies. Do y'all not on the same page? And someone just wants to move on. And be free, actually. One more card. I hate these cards dropping on the damn ground. Yeah, they have no more love to give. And someone's standing on it. So Gemini, I just get ultimately the two of you are not on the same page. One person may want to be independent of the situation and not want to give to the situation. Other person just like, no, I don't really give a fuck. I don't have nothing else to give to the situation. In fact, we're not on the same page. You're not really hearing what I'm having to say. So I just get ultimately, Gemini, you don't have nothing else to give to the situation, or the other person don't have nothing to give to the situation. You're just stuck on the Lulu land. Which, Gemini, if this is your story, I will say this. It's okay to take an L and go. And don't think that this is the only person out there for who, if you're cross-watching or if you're just reading for you, don't just think this is the only person out there. You don't have to play back and forth with people that is actually meant for you, because it will be absolutely clear that this person is meant to be in your life and they're not going to play games with you. So ultimately, Gemini, if this is your story, do not sit and sulk over bullshit, because at the end of the day, what's meant for you will be for you, and what is not, it will pass. So don't worry about the things that's not working out in regards to relationships or a connection. It didn't work out for a reason. It doesn't matter how much time passed. Time don't mean shit. Who are they now? Not in memory. Who are they now? What do they show you now? So that's what I get, Gemini. Just like understand, if this is you not giving a fuck and you don't want to reopen that chapter and you want something new for yourself, good for you. Like, just move on. And if the shoe is on the other foot, Gemini, move on. Just the same answer, move on. Easier said than done, but you gotta take your time and get that out of your system, so you can't open yourself up to someone that is actually on the same page as you. Ultimately, it's possible, but it may take some time. But just give yourself that time too, in order to let the situation progress the way that it needs to progress, with or without this person. Hopefully that made sense. Cancer, what's coming up for you this week? Shit. Unexpected. Something unexpected. Okay, what's coming up for you this week, Cancer? You're independent from something. You're no longer waiting. You lost hope in something. I just get ultimately you're unexpectedly finding yourself released from something. Unexpectedly finding yourself free from something. Why the Tower? Something did not work out. Unexpectedly. Something went left. Something's wrapping up here. Dare I say, you may just like let it crumble. You may just let it wrap up, whatever this is. Why the Nine of Pentacles? Oh, shit. Why did it fly all the way over here? I'm so tired of this damn setup. I ain't sitting over here no damn disappointment. You didn't find yourself free of this. I do get, ultimately, Cancer, even though you're free from this, it caused some sort of disappointment. Like, it's something that you did not expect. I mean, anyone will feel some sort of shock, especially if it was nothing that you planned or nothing that you really thought would happen. But you'll be able to move on from it. Let's see, why the Magician reverse, though? You're unhappy. Something just did not work out, Cancer. Ultimately, something did not work out. Emotionally, and you've been up in the air, like you wasn't going back and forth in your mind about how you really felt about a situation, but ultimately something was just not bringing you that emotional fulfillment or that emotional connection that you usually have. The Queen of Cups is reversed. You're not in your energy. In fact, I just feel as though you're emotionally depleted from whatever this is. And it's like you're having to make a decision to detach yourself from something. And it caused some sort of disappointment here. Why the Five of Cups, though? Why the Five of Cups? Hierophant reverse. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of picking up on some sad energy. And then the raining doesn't make it any better, so I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, Cancer, let's be honest here. This was something you was committed to. And you're having to find yourself free from it or become independent from it. You're not happy with whatever news this is or whatever type of change this is. But when the Tower is here, it means ultimately that something was not built on solid ground. It was not built in good faith. Meaning that, like, the foundation was built out of sand. It wasn't built out of rock. A tower will only come about and rock some shit if it's not meant to stay there in general. So I get, ultimately, the Tower, you may have been standing on a ground where it was quicksand. Quicksand moves slow. I don't know why I'm getting this imagery, but just follow me. Quicksand moves slow, like you're slowly but surely finding yourself sinking into the ground. You think you're getting somewhere. You think you're like you know, there. Why do I get to contentment? You probably felt content in whatever this is, and it just caused you to feel like you were slowly but surely sinking. It felt like a painful type of feeling, like a sinking feeling. That's what I get. And before you knew it, you found yourself like, you know, right? The sand is literally at your neck at this point, Cancer. And then something comes and was like, what? Like, it just felt as though whatever this was something that was simmering. You didn't sense it because, again, you could still see. You could still see outward because, again, the sand didn't cover your eyes yet. You know, you couldn't move, you couldn't do anything. It felt like you were just immovable. And I got this imagery from you last week, where I was like, everything looks the same. I got the image of a store. I forgot the name of that store. There's a store where everything looked the same. And it seemed as though everything started to look the same to you. So you thought because things were the same, or because things were, like, you know, progressing the way that it was supposed to progress, then there was no issues. But that's where you fell short a little bit. Not saying that it's wrong. Like, some people, like, sometimes you just don't know until it happens. But things started to look the same. And there was comfort in knowing that things were the same, or things were just still operating normal as usual, even though it could be normal. It wasn't normal. So ultimately, Cancer, I think you may find yourself in a position where you're no longer working on something, or something that you thought was, you know, working out the same time, like working out because it was the same formula, well, it didn't work out. This formula that you were using no longer works. So, one more card. Why the Nine of Pentacles here? Clarification on that, please. Thank you. King of Cups. And I saw this. If this is a partnership that you were in, Cancer, you could be like, it could, there's a male and female. The Queen of Cups is reversed, but the King of Cups is upright. There is one person who feels as though that this was the best move to make. Whereas the Cancer, and like the Cancer, like the woman, feels as though this was not what they really wanted. It kind of took them by surprise because they thought everything was okay. Everything was working out just fine. But unexpectedly, knock, knock, it wasn't. So, could have been some sort of injustice involved with another person. Does not necessarily have to be. But it could be where someone just decided to free themselves after some sort of injustice or after some sort of like misdemeanor. Now, I don't know who this is, but I get someone probably did something that was not right. Possibly dealt with another person behind closed doors, and it shifted the dynamics and caught someone off guard, ultimately. Why the Queen of Cups reverse? Why the Queen of Cups reverse? Someone just feel indecisive, though. Why the Queen of Cups reverse? I'm trying not to stay on these readings too long. I guess someone just don't have no more love to give to a situation here. Unexpectedly, the Queen of Cups did not really want to let it go. But someone here wants to let it go. Like it's no longer working out. Ooh, Chariot fell. Someone wants to move on. Let's just get this. One more card for Cancer this week. Let's see. Someone may come back. Like someone wanted to bear the burden. Someone did not want it to end. Like even though it was like a slow sinking feeling, someone still did not want it to end. Someone wanted to come back around and try and make it work, but it's not working. The reason I say this is because the Eight of Cups reverse and the Ten of Wands upright is here. Someone still wants to carry the load, but the load no longer wants to be carried. The load no longer wants to be held. So Cancer, if this is your story and if this is making sense to you thus far, and I hope I'm breaking it down to the best of my ability, let whatever end. Just let it end. And I get that with a lot of signs. If something's ending for you this week, or just in general, whenever you come across this reading and this happened to resonate with you on some level, let whatever need to end, okay, Cancer? And this could be in regards to the full moon in Cancer that just transpired in your sign. Full moons represents release, but sometimes it just depends on what is it being connected to in your personal chart. So understand that this is a release period for you. And what is it that you want out of a situation moving forward? And give yourself grace and time during this time, especially if you lost something or if you find yourself free, like independent from something that you thought was going to be long term or you got comfortable in, you know. And like I said, it's a matter of giving yourself grace throughout this period of time. It's no harm, no foul in telling yourself, okay, yeah, this was harsh or this went like, it's okay. Give yourself grace. But that's what I get for you this week, Cancer. Hopefully that made sense. All right. Leo, what's coming up for you this week? You're defensive about something. Your feelings, you're defensive about your feelings. What do I get? Crush energy? Okay. Let's see. What's coming up for Leo this week? Eight of Pentacles. Reverse. Why does Seven of Wands? Pride. Two sevens. Pride. Someone don't want to swallow their pride. Swallow their feelings. And apologize. Or let bygones be bygones. Someone's done working on something. Why the Eight of Pentacles reverse? Someone wants something to close out. This is kind of similar to Taurus read. So you could be dealing with a Taurus, or you have Taurus placements. But be sure to check that out. It's kind of similar. But I get someone no longer want to work on something and it's wrapping up. Like someone just don't have no more fight left in them. And I get someone wants to defend their feelings or defend like the situation or stop themselves from apologizing about a situation. But someone feels stuck. Like this is no longer... Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I just get ultimately someone just feels as though there's nothing else they can do in a situation and just want to wipe their hands clean out of a situation here. Why the Eight of Swords reverse? Not Eight of Swords, Seven of Swords reverse. Shit, let me reshuffle. I'm so tired of these damn cards dropping. Why the Seven of Swords reverse? Why do I get someone probably found something out about something? The Knight of Pentacles is clarifying the Seven of Swords reverse. So it's in Justice reverse at the bottom of the deck. Someone tried to cover up a lie or tried to cover up some sort of deception here. But it didn't go far, actually. I just get ultimately someone was not with the program. Or someone just don't want to give out an apology. Like they're tight-lipped about something. Let's see. Why the world? Why the world clarifying that? Two cards flew out. Someone has a poker face. Someone may come back around after some sort of ending to communicate or to like, or they may present themselves as someone that don't really have no emotion or don't really show how they really feel behind closed doors. I keep getting this energy of someone like is tight-lipped about how they really feel. Like, for example, I got crush energy. So I'm not saying that it's a crush, but you know how people have a certain crush and everyone but the crush knows that this person have a crush on them. That's the type of energy I'm getting. It's like someone is tight-lipped about how they really feel about a situation. In fact, I think they're just like stone-faced about, you know, they're not really showing how they really feel about something or showing how they really think about a situation. Like what they really think about a situation. Knight of Pentacles here. Why is that there? I'm trying not to stay on these readings too long. Magician. Someone wants to work on it, but I get ultimately there's one person who just really don't want to work on it. And someone may bring communication to try and apologize, to try and soothe over some things, try to make something right. But I get ultimately someone just don't really wants to get with the program. But someone may feel like they want to come back around or try to make something right. But then at the other end of the spectrum, they may not show that they really want this. They may not really have no more to give to a situation here. But there's an energy of someone coming back around. And there's an energy of someone not really showing how they really feel about a situation. One more card for Leo this week. One more card for Leo this week. Someone's tired of waiting and want to come back around. Even if they're not really feeling emotionally fulfilled about the situation. Or even if they're not really feeling that hot about the situation. Someone really want to come back around. Like they became impatient. And wants to make something work here. Why the Seven of Pentacles reverse? Too many sevens. Sevens can represent like indecisive. Someone's just indecisive. Like they want to hold back. There's someone here that wants to hold back bad. Like they don't want to really show how they really feel. This could be you or someone else, Leo. But I get ultimately someone may have a poker face. May act as though they don't want to work on this. Or may act as though they don't want this. Ultimately, I just get that someone just is holding back their real emotions towards the situation. May have a poker face, even though they want to come back around and try and make something right. So that's what I get, Leo. Hopefully that made sense. All right. Virgo, oh shit. Virgo, what's coming up for you this week? Knight of Wands reverse. You're no longer going towards something, or you're no longer going to be expending any effort in some sort of endeavor or some sort of thing that you was working on in general. What's coming up for Virgo this week? Something gets revealed. Someone's true colors get revealed, or something gets revealed in general. Whenever I get the moon, sometimes like I just see the multiple faces. You know how moon changes like its sign every 2.5 days, and also how it changes is like how it looks like the shadow of the sun be like, you know, making a new moon, a full moon. I just get that ultimately someone just had different faces or had different ways of showing themselves. But I just get ultimately something gets revealed unexpectedly and it caused some sort of burden here. Why is the Knight of Wands reversed? Why the Knight of Wands reversed? Knight of Swords. Someone's not communicating something. Someone's not showing their truth. Like someone's not really saying anything or showing themselves in the, like someone's not really being authentic. I get someone being fake as fuck. I get fake energy here. But I get someone's not really communicating something. Someone's not really being honest about something. Why the Moon reverse? Page of Wands. Someone may be childish or someone may be like playing games, but it was some, in regard to some sort of opportunity that fell through here. Someone may have over promised something or like made it seem as though like I got you this and then it was something else. Like it just like, for example, oh, how am I getting that imagery? You ask for, like someone asks for a car and then they get like, they talking about a real car. Someone want to ask for a real car and then they say, okay, I'm on it. I got you. Then they come back and they get them a toy car, like one of those like, what the Hot Wheel cars. It's like, no, bitch, I wanted an actual car. You know, that's the type of energy I get. Like someone feel hoodwinked, like someone dropped the ball. Yeah, someone dropped the ball. And it was some sort of opportunity and it caused some sort of heartbreak. Like someone was not telling the full truth or someone like overcompensated or over said, like over talked. Why the Knight of Swords? This was in regards to some sort of opportunity or something that was like, you was anticipating or something you was like actually waiting on in particular. Why the Page of Wands reverse? Page of Cups reverse. This was something that was small, like someone was holding back and it was just minuscule things. It's like something couldn't get off the ground the way that it was supposed to. Like it didn't have a good start. It didn't have a good chance at, you know, growing into something. I don't know. I just get someone dropped the ball and wasn't really honest about something. Why the Moon reverse, actually? One more card. Why the Moon reverse? Why the Moon reverse? One more card, please. 2 cards flew out. Someone was not... I get someone was also greedy here. But I get like someone was not honest. Queen of Swords reverse. King of Pentacles upright. And then I get someone was not really being themselves. Like in front, they may present themselves as this, but behind closed doors, there's a bit, they're an asshole. That's weird. Why the 10 of Pentacles here? Walking away. Something wasn't able to get off the ground ultimately, and you having to walk away from it and find your peace elsewhere. But again, I do get this, Virgo, and I keep getting this message for you. Do not think you're going to be up the creek without a paddle. There's something else that comes about that will work itself out for you. So whatever this is that you have to walk away from, that you probably put in, like, had a lot of hope and anticipation and long-term stability with, it just seems as though like you're having to wash your hands of it. But don't think that whatever change this is that is happening, Virgo, you're going to be up the creek without a paddle, because I really just don't see that. I keep getting that message for you in different ways here. So if someone dropped the ball on you, guess what? You're going to be redirected to something that will actually be more stable and more in alignment. You won't be trying second guessing yourself as to like, was this really this or was this really that? Or you may not feel as though the rug is being pulled from under you. Because that's what I get. Like, it felt as though the rug was being pulled from under you, but it just did not get anywhere. So, one more card for Virgo this week. I get 8 of Swords reverse. You're not going to feel as trapped to whatever this is. In fact, I do get that you're going to feel more... You're going to feel like you're getting over it slowly but surely. letting one stick go at a time. Like you're not gonna feel like it's weighing heavy on you. Slowly but surely as the day go by. Why the Eight of Swords reverse? The Sun reverse. That still want to come out. You're not going to stay down for too long. So don't think that you're going to be down for too long, Virgo. I keep getting that heavily for you. So if someone dropped the ball or something did not turn out the way that it was supposed to, I still get ultimately you're not going to be up the creek without a paddle. In fact, I think you're being redirected to something that is way more beneficial for you. But ultimately, it's a matter of like giving yourself the space to heal or giving yourself the space to like actually be open or make room for that thing to come in for you or whatever this is. But I just get ultimately, Virgo, you're going to slowly but surely get over whatever this is. And you're going to, yeah, that's what I get, Virgo. I'm not going to overtalk, but that's what I get. Let's see. Libra, what's coming up for you this week? Okay, your 2 cards came out. 9 of Cups reverse. You're holding back. You're holding back. There's some sort of heartbreak, some sort of disappointment that came about. Something did not pan out the way that it was supposed to. I get that you're holding back how you really feel, or just holding back. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Okay, why the 4 of Pentacles here? Something's hidden. Well, something gets revealed. Okay, why the 9 of Cups? 10 of Cups reverse. Something wasn't able to come to completion. The reason I say that the 9 of Cups reverse and the 10 of Cups reverse being clarifying the 9 of Cups reverse. So I just get something was not able to come to completion emotionally, or just some sort of connection. Something just did not come to an emotional completion and it's causing you to hold back. I do get the High Priestess reverse. This is something that gets revealed here. Why the High Priestess reverse? Someone let something go. What I get hands off. Someone's hands off on a situation, like they're not involving themselves in a situation. Especially after, like, someone's not budging. The Hangman reverse can represent, like, someone's not changing their mind or someone's not changing their perspective on something. But I just get ultimately someone just holds back and not say anything or not giving their input into something. Why that's there? Why that's there? Shit. 2 cards flew out. Okay, your reading's kind of confusing me a little bit, Libra, because this is why I just get ultimately someone just don't have no more emotional reserves left. This could be you or someone else, and this is after something gets revealed. One more card. Why the High Priestess reverse? Yeah, someone's not taking action. I just get ultimately for you, you're just no longer taking action, but there's some sort of like. What a star. King of Pentacles. I keep getting this King of Pentacles pop out. Okay. There may be communication that come through from an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but they're not, it may be dry communication because they're not emotionally available. So if there's some sort of disconnect from somebody, I just get ultimately someone just don't feel like there's no more hope left. Or there's nothing else to give to a situation here. Someone's losing hope in a situation and they just feel like emotionally they have nothing else to give. This communication may come in quick from them, but I just get ultimately someone just feels as though like whatever gets revealed in this situation causes someone to just be like, I'm done, hands off, I'm done. I don't have nothing else to give to this. I'm tired. I don't want to overexert myself here. It's like something gets exposed or something comes to the light here. But I just get ultimately someone just no longer want to give to a situation emotionally. They don't have no more emotional reserves left in a situation. One more card, Libra, for Libra this week. Oh, 4 cards flew out. I don't know if I should take it out yet. 3 of Cups reverse. Nine of Swords reverse, Justice, Six of Pentacles. It's for the best. It's for the best, whatever this is. So whatever this is that you're no longer giving your energy to, or you no longer see anything with, this could be you or the other person, just understand that it's like something that's for the best. The Justice card is here and the Six of Pentacles upright is here. So whatever this is that is ending, or whatever this is that gets exposed, or someone's no longer like putting effort emotionally into a situation, or something's unable to come into the ground, just know it's something bigger at hand. I wouldn't necessarily, ultimately, I just wouldn't necessarily think that it's for the worst. It's just for the best. It's just for the best. No longer, someone just no longer want to stress out over whatever this is. So I just get ultimately someone's feelings about something, like possibly a connection between you and another person, possible earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or Pisces, or an Aquarius. They may not actually feel that they want to give to a situation any longer. But it's just in a matter of bringing an emotional balance. I could say this. Someone may be like starting back over from the basics emotionally and be like, okay, let's start off small. But I just get ultimately someone just feels as though they have nothing else to give to a situation. So that's what I get this week. Libra. All right. Scorpio, what's coming up for you this week? Queen of Wands. You're going to feel more confident in holding back. Well, you're holding back yourself from moving forward. Let's see. Or being direct. What's coming up for you this week, Scorpio? You're avoiding something. You're avoiding taking action. You're impatient, but you're not taking action. You're avoiding something here. Why the Queen of Wands here? You may be avoiding a fire sign, Aries, Sag, Leo, and a Cancer. You're avoiding something. Why do I get responsibility here? You're over it. You're not giving to a situation. But you want to take charge in a situation, or you want to move forward in something. Why the Tower reverse here? So you're avoiding committing to something. You're avoiding committing to something. Because you just don't feel emotionally connected to whatever this is. I keep getting the Queen of Cups reverse. The King of Pentacles, those are the stars of the show this week, I see. But I just get ultimately, whatever this is, you're avoiding putting towards effort towards something. It's like you have it in you, but you're not given to this particular situation here. Why the Ten of Pentacles? Because emotionally, you're not fulfilled. It could be a family situation. It could be a home situation, relationship. I keep getting, it's like, what is in there for me? There's some sort of lie involved possibly, though. Someone's not acknowledging something, or someone's just ignoring something. Like it's like, for example, it's like, like think of it like, I keep getting like noise cancellation. It's like behind the door, it's like noise cancellation. You can't hear anything in the other room, but you're on the opposite side of the door and you can't really hear shit. So it's like someone's not really paying attention to the noise behind the door, if that makes sense, because the room is noise canceled, basically. So I just get, ultimately, there's something not being said here. So you may not be speaking your piece on the situation, even though you probably have a lot to say about the situation. But you're going to put up a front like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm not going to sit up here and include myself. It's like you're not going to give to a situation here, or you're not going to contribute to a situation here, even though there's a part of you that probably do want to give to it, but it's like, what is in it for me if I say this? What's going to happen to me if I do this? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I get. Let's see. Why the Queen of Wands? You want to leave someone out in the cold. Like I get that you may be considering removing someone from your life, or not really saying how, like you're cutting off contact with somebody. I get you cutting off contact with somebody and you don't give a fuck. You're going to leave something out in the cold. You're avoiding, you're not giving attention to it. It's like even though it's like blazing at you, or you hear all these things, it's like, I don't really know what to say. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. you may not give a fuck, or this person may not give a fuck. I just get ultimately you're leaving some people out in the cold, or someone's getting left out in the cold, and there's no communication between the two of you. Or between, there's a Cancer and a fire sign here present, and a Capricorn. I just get that it's like, what, I just don't, what good is me holding on to this? I just get that energy from you, Scorpio. What's coming? One more card for Scorpio this week. Nine of Swords. But it's like you have a lot to say, but you can't say it. Something's fucking with you mentally, though. Either you or someone else, something's fucking with you because something's not being acknowledged or something's not being seen. It's like something's happening in the background or something happening behind that door. You don't know that there's something going on behind the door because it's not making any noise due to noise cancellation. But it's like, okay, it's like you can't really read the situation. And then on top of that, there's also a population of Scorpios that say, what is in it for me keeping you around? I don't want to keep contact with you. So you may be cutting some folks off due to some lies or avoiding some like acknowledgement of people. Like you're just not going to give them the time of day. Why the Nine of Swords here? Ooh. Holding back. Someone's holding back. I keep getting this fuck ass King of Pentacles, but let me be honest here. Holding back your thoughts, holding back how you really feel about a situation or your perspective on a situation. Why the Five of Pentacles? Four of Swords reverse. Something's not being acknowledged. So it's like if this, okay, I can read this. It's like if this is not getting acknowledged, or this is not being said, or if this is not being, like this is not like clicking, I can't do anything for you. And it's like something's blaring you, like something's in your face. It's like a red flag. I keep getting someone waving a flag, not in a talk like, a red flag or whatever. I just keeps getting someone like saying, hey, this is this, but it's like, what are you not getting? It's like, what are you not getting? One more card. Something from the past. That's what it is. Something from the past happened, Scorpio. And it seemed as though after whatever this is that happened, it was like a blip in the radar, right? It's like, but it was serious, but it was a blip in the radar. I don't know why I'm getting this imagery. Whoever this is, it's like you're skipping over things. It's like, did you not know that this happened and this is what caused this? I just get subtle frustration coming from you, not in a negative way, but it's like, did you not know this happened, or did you not know that this was going on? I just keep getting like you are avoiding speaking something or saying something because it's like if you were to say something, it's not going to help the situation because they're going to act like they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Ultimately, this is something that transpired here, Scorpio. I'm not trying to stay on your reading for too long, but I just get ultimately, Scorpio, you're avoiding contact or avoiding conversing with people this week. 2 individuals possibly. Like you're not going to be an active participant in whatever this is. I don't think you're down for it. I think you're just it's like you do have a lot to say, but it's like you're bottling it up, and it's like, you know what good is me saying this gonna do? I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I tried to break that down the best that I know how because I'm just trying to understand this imagery that I'm getting in my brain. But anyway, that's what I get for you this week, Scorpio. Hope that made sense. Last 4 signs. All right. Sagittarius, what's coming up for you this week? Okay. You're up in the air. You're going back and forth about what you want to do, but it's like you probably avoiding some sort of responsibility or some sort of decision. You're avoiding, well, I could say responsibility because the pentacles can represent something tangible, something like that. I just get that you're avoiding something. What's coming up for you this week, Sagittarius? Oh, okay. What's coming up for you this week, Shit. What's coming up for you this week, Sagittarius? Bridge the gap. I don't know why I get that. Let's see. Why the Two of Pentacles? Whether or not you want to reconnect with someone or disconnect from somebody. You're up in the air about what you want to do. I think ultimately you're leaning more towards not giving someone another chance or reconnecting with someone. It seemed like you're up in the air, but it's like you're leaning more towards, I don't really want to reopen back up that door. Let's see, why the Seven of Swords reverse? A decision. Hold on. You're not making a decision. Or you're avoiding some sort of responsibility here, or you're avoiding some sort of you're just avoiding giving to something, like forgiving something and letting it just stay ended, or letting it stay like where it is now. I just get that you're just closing yourself off from making a decision. You're up in the air about what you want to do with a certain particular thing in your life or a connection in your life. Lovers can represent multiple connections, so that can represent anything. Could be like whatever type of connection this is, but I just get ultimately you're avoiding some sort of forgiveness in a situation, or some sort of reconnection. Why the Lovers reverse? Eight of Wands. Someone may communicate. Someone may acknowledge something. There may be some communication from someone that you fell out with, someone that you probably did not talk to in a while. This is something that I don't think it will catch you off guard completely, but I get that there's some sort of communication. Why the Two of Swords clarifying the Seven of Swords? But are you open to that communication? That's the question. And it's like you're trying to see what is the best way to move forward after some sort of communication come through. But I think ultimately you may not even give to the situation, or allow the situation to come back. You may not give. I just get that ultimately. Why the Eight of Wands? Sun. Someone wants to make something right, or try to make something. Someone wants to reopen up that door. Someone wants to reconnect with you. But I think I just keep getting that you're not really as open to it, or you're not really as forgiving as to what has transpired. So if something happened between you and another person, or you and multiple people, it just seems as though you may be having a hard time understanding what's the purpose of them being back around, or why are they coming back around to communicate. And let's see, why the Temperance? Two cards. Because you don't see nothing with it. I don't get the Six of Swords reverse. Not the Six of Swords. I don't get the Six of Cups reverse, but that's my bad taste mouth. Bad taste in my mouth card to me when the Six of Cups is reversed. Whatever this is, it left a bad taste in your mouth. In fact, it probably was not favorable emotionally on you. It probably was very emotionally taxing. But I just get ultimately, Sagittarius, I don't know. It's like you're having a hard time reconciling or forgiving this situation. One more card for Sagittarius. But it seems as though you're trying to gain a new perspective, and it's like you're not gonna rush in making making a decision, or rush into making into a reconnecting. Oh, okay, you come back around, you apologize, hey, come back in my life. I don't think you're gonna be that open to whatever this is. But I do get ultimately you're gonna try and gain a new perspective here, just so you can gain some sort of peace with it, or gain some sort of try and pull yourself up out of that feeling of I cannot forgive the situation. It might be some clarity that comes through, possibly, even though I don't get the Ace of Swords, there might be some sort of clarity that comes through in this communication here. One more card for Sagittarius this week. Okay. Devil. Someone probably was obsessive over reconnecting with you, or probably was ruminating about this in their mind. The reason I say this is because the Devil is here. Someone probably really wanted to reconnect with you. Someone really wanted to come back together with you, especially after a period of silence, or a period of losing hope in the situation. I just get ultimately Or not given to a situation. I just get ultimately someone was obsessive with wanting to reconnect with you. Why the devil? But why the Page of Pentacles reverse? Why the Page of Pentacles reverse? If they were to come back around, are they really going to give to the situation? Like, it's one thing to want to come back around and want to reconnect, right? But it's another to not really give to a situation the way that it's supposed to be given to it in order to prevent the outcome that has happened before, right? One more card. Why the Page of Pentacles reverse? Even if you come back around, if they come back around, Sagittarius, and I'll just say this flat out, if they were to come back around, I don't know why I want to tell you don't feel obligated. It's easy for people to be like, you know, well, not everybody. But there are some people who be like, after someone apologizes or after some time has passed, some people think time passing is an apology. Or some people think that like someone apologizing is, you know, the right for you to open up space for them again back in your life. But at the same time, overall, Sagittarius, if this is resonating with you or this is making sense to you, don't feel the need to feel obligated to reconnect with some people, especially if you don't have it in you to do that. And I know people say forgiveness, like you got to forgive. Forgiveness is not the only way to like get over something or to allow someone to not take back control over your life or to not allow something to like, you know, sour your mood. At the end of the day, we got free will. If you want to hear them out, you can hear them out. But ultimately, it's your decision whether or not you got to live with your decision at the end of the day. They don't. While it may benefit them, is it going to benefit you? So ask yourself these questions. Don't allow yourself to open back up a can of worms or open back up a book that has already ended. But if it's something that is a little bit more like, you know, let's say serious, where it's like, okay, this person may be a family member or whatnot. This person may be someone that you like held very close or whatnot. I guess it's a matter of like understanding like your boundaries or understanding what you're willing to give and what you're willing to take out of a situation here. So ultimately, Sagittarius, just understand that this is your decision, not anyone else's decision. And whatever decision you make sure it's a decision that is ultimately for the best. Not for the worst, but for the best. And don't feel a sense of obligation, but also don't feel the need to like open yourself up if you don't feel fully 100% there. Time doesn't just heal anything. Actions do. Healing does. So just if this made sense to you, Sagittarius, again, I keep wanting to say don't feel a sense of obligation. Only do what feels best for you. And again, also I want to say this, don't allow someone a chance to fuck you over again. If this is someone that fucked you over before. Because it seems as though they don't have any intentions on really working on it, but emotionally giving to it. But it's like, what is giving to a situation emotionally is if it's not really being worked on in a way that it needs to be worked on. So that's what I get, Sagittarius. Hopefully that made sense. Capricorn, what's coming up for you this week? You're letting go of something. But there's some sort of acknowledgement here that something needs to go anyway. What's coming up for you this week, Capricorn? Fuck. Knight of Wands, forward movement. You're no longer feeling guarded, or you no longer feel the need to like having to defend something. I just get ultimately you're no longer feeling the need to like explain yourself to people. I got this for you, multiple messages. These weeklies, I just be remembering, it's like, yeah, it seems as though you don't feel the need to explain yourself here. And your moves or what actions you take. Why the Strength reverse? Magician reverse. you not working on something, that's your prerogative. It's like, you know what? Like, it's not like I just get, oh, this is the same reading, Capricorn, that I had for you. It's like you don't feel the need to explain your choices. If this is what you want to do, it's like I don't feel the need to have to explain myself to you. You may not understand it, but it's not for you to understand. It's for me to understand at the end of the day, right? Because guess what? I got to live with my decisions at the end of the day. So whatever decisions you make, it seems as though like you're not going to really be tuning in. You're going to be tuning folks out. A lot of Knight of Wands. You see more for yourself than what you see more for yourself is what I get. Why the Knight of Wands? Yeah, you do see more for yourself. But I do also get that you're closing off from something too. Closing off your, like you feel like you don't, let's see, why the Magician reverse? Just reverse. You're not budging. You're not explaining, you're not giving to a situation anymore, Capricorn. I just get that ultimately. And ironic, it is Capricorn season, so, and it's your birthday month, so happy birthday, Capricorns. Why the King of Cups? I just get that you're, but there's some sort of emotional stability. Someone's just not emotionally balanced. Someone's not emotionally mature. And I think it's like more so like, it's a burden more so than a blessing. Whatever this is. And it's like you no longer want to participate in whatever this is. In fact, I don't think you really see anything. I keep getting a lot of release messages for all signs, not just you, Capricorn, but every sign that I read for today so far has a message of release, has a message of like things wrapping up. And I understand that we are in a new year, but the new year, the astrological year of the fire horse starts sometime in February. I think February the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. I don't take my word for it, but I think it starts in February the 17th. So we're still in the dead of winter. Winter talks about release, things dying, and then coming back up for life for the springtime. So let's just keep it real here, Capricorn. I just get ultimately for you this week or just in general, you're not going to really be given to a situation. In fact, I think you're going to release the need to have to work on something, release the need to put in effort towards something because something is just not going to work itself out. Something is like has a sense of instability here. And it's like you're cutting through the bullshit. You're cutting through the nonsense. It's like, look, I don't see this going anywhere. And I don't see you being emotionally stable or mature enough to handle it. Could be a water sign or Aries, Pisces, air sign possibly. It's a burden. So it's like you're releasing a burden here. One more card for Capricorn this week. Oh, the Ten of Cups reverse here. I didn't see that. Ten of Cups reverse. Hold on, let's see what this is. Lovers. Whatever this is, because I just noticed this. This probably was already out the deck, but I just noticed that whatever this connection is, Capricorn, it just was not emotionally fulfilling. In fact, it did not get to completion with emotional, like the family. Like, it didn't get to the full 9 yards here. And I think you're just like, I don't want to keep putting my energy towards dead stuff. And I also get that you're not going to explain your reasonings for releasing whatever this is. Because it seems as though there may be people in here that's like, oh, you should stick with it. Or, oh, you should fight for this. Or, oh, you should do this and do that. Da 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 da. But guess what? Again, and I had to tell this to Sagittarius, this is your decision. This is no one else's decision but your decision. So if you feel this is what is best for you, at the end of the day, not saying you being selfish, especially if you're considering other people, especially if it's kids involved, whatever. Not saying that you're being selfish, but it's more so like, I need to still look out for me at the end of the day. And if this is not benefiting me, and I'm still suffering at the end of the day, then I need to get the hell on. People are quick, and I'm not saying that people don't have ill intentions. Not everyone have ill intentions. But I just get ultimately, sometimes people don't understand because they're not in it. So it's like you're dropping the need to defend why you're not working on something. And you're very clear on setting boundaries behind that. Because whatever this is, it just did not work out. Period. It just did not work out. So ultimately, Capricorn, one more card. Oh, the Lovers here. Ultimately, Capricorn, I think you're going to find yourself out of a situation. And moving out of a situation, you're not going... And I see the Tower poking out here, reverse. You're going to be avoiding all that shit. So ultimately, Capricorn, I just get... If it's a lot of noise, don't allow yourself to fall victim to having other people make decisions for you. You're a Capricorn. I know you're not going to really fall victim to that, but it also depends on the other aspects in your chart. But I will say, ultimately, this is your decision. You got to live with that decision at the end of the day. I can tell you as a tarot reader, I might tell you this, but guess what? You got free will. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do at the end of the day. Tarot is a tool, not something that should be taken for face value. It's a tool to help, but not something that should be overall law. Like, this is fact, opinion. Like, well, tarot is, it does have facts. But what I'm saying is, like, you got free will at the end of the day. So whatever you decide to do at the end of the day, that's your prerogative, okay? So, and I think you're going to be tuning out people that try to get in your way. Mind you, Sun and Mars is conjoined in the sky. And that's a stubborn fucker. Ooh. So that means you may feel the need to like be standing your ground on something more so than you did before. So that's what I get for you this week. Capricorn, or just in general. Aquarius, what's coming up for you this week? Oh shit. Why did that fly out the way of me? You having to make a decision about something. Possible reconciliation between you and another person, or you and other people. You're deciding on whether or not you want to do that. What's coming up for you this week, Aquarius? Whether or not you want to work on something. Hold on. Eight of Pentacles reverse. You're deciding on whether or not you want to give to this or not. And it's like you're having to make a strong decision, a sturdy decision based off fact, not emotion. So you're going to be very clear with yourself about what you want to do. A lot of judgment here. Eight of Wands reverse. You may cut off communication from somebody. Or block somebody. Does not necessarily mean cut off communication. It just means as though you may block somebody, or you may not be taking action towards somebody until you make a decision here. Why the Eight of Pentacles reverse? Emotionally, you're not gonna give to something emotionally. I think you're gonna be more so in control, or control how you feel towards the situation. So it's like you may feel this way about a situation, but you're not gonna allow your emotions to take control over this, like how you really see the situation overall. I did get the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck when I pulled the Eight of Wands reverse. So I just get, ultimately your emotions are not gonna take overdrive in whatever decision this is that you have to make ultimately. Why the Eight of Wands reverse? Okay. You're not gonna, yeah, because if you were to, it's like a verbal match, a verbal brawl between you and another person, or you and other people. I just get that you're gonna hold yourself back from actually fighting that fight, or saying something that may sting even harsher than what it is. So like how, I guess you're trying to see like ultimately, if I have to communicate, what's the best way to communicate so it don't fuck anything else up or make stuff worse than what it is. And you're not going to allow your emotions, because like, you know, for example, your emotions are temporary basically. So it seems as though you're not going to say anything out of emotion, but out of fact, out of clarity, out of something that is like, okay, cut straight to the point, not necessarily where it's like emotionally entangled. You're seeing a situation for what it is and not what you want it to be, is what I get. Why the Knight of Cups reverse? Endings. You're ending something. Yeah, that's what I got. You're ending something. No matter how you feel towards a situation, you're like, this is what needs to happen. It's not necessarily how I feel towards a situation, but this is what is happening. This is fact. If I don't let this go, it's going to be worse than what it is. I may like you as a person, but you're horrible at doing this. Not saying it's that harsh, but it just seems as though you just like, I don't really want to give to something anymore like I did before. It's a hell of a week. A lot of people just saying, fuck this, I'm done. So you're making a decision based off fact, not emotion, based off being real with yourself, not delusion. One more card for Aquarius this week. One more card for Aquarius this week. 7 of Wands reverse. You have no fight left in you to really, like, you're not gonna go back and forth with somebody. And someone may try to string you into an argument, or someone may try and be more like, you know how someone, like, you can tell someone's trying to be smart and it's like, okay, I'm gonna just tune you out. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you because I know if I do, I'm not gonna bite the bait, basically. Because some people be baiting folks and then like be wanting them to snap. But I think ultimately, you're gonna see things in a bird's eye perspective, not in a perspective where it's like detrimental. You're gonna be more so careful. I think you're gonna be more grounded and not all over the place. While the 7 of Wands reverse, you're gonna handle something a lot more strategically, but also not out of a emotional like place. Let's see how you're not gonna be fighting. One more card. Why the 7 of Wands reverse? Why is there? One more card, please. That's too many cards. Ooh. 6 of Cups. This is something that put a bad taste in your mouth. Possibly how you like. This is something that put a bad taste in your mouth. This could be someone that you worked with or someone that you was connected to. But this is something that like you really did see a lot with. Hold on. Let me redo this. I'm sorry, Aquarius. Let me just pull it out again. If the same card pop out, that means it's just a message for you. One more card for Aquarius. Ace of Cups. I saw that. Okay. Yeah. Ultimately, I think you're recognizing that this thing is just a dead end. It's a dead end. Why the Ace of Cups reverse? 2 cards flew out. Justice card. But it's for the best that you let this go. Or you handle your emotions with care. You probably see that there's some deception here that is getting resolved ultimately, especially if it's something, it could be something in regards to work, but I do get something's getting resolved. Some deception is coming to light. So you probably are like, you know what, I'm just going to let things play out the way that it needs to play out, but I'm not going to go back and forth with you to make things like not play out in my favor, if that makes sense. So I just get ultimately, Aquarius, you're making a decision to tune someone out or block someone out or to release someone or to stop working on something or stop giving to something. Also, I get that you're not, if you do have to make a decision, you're not going to make it based off of a emotional decision or how you feel about a situation, but more so how you see the situation for what it is already. So that's what I get, Aquarius. All right. Last but not least, my lovely Pisces, what's coming up for you this week? Injustice. Why the Justice reverse card here? You're no longer given to a situation due to some sort of injustice or something that was not fair in nature. I get that you're not moving towards that situation. In fact, I think you're no longer going to give to that situation. You're not going to push through a situation that keeps slapping you in the face or spinning in your face. Not literally, but figuratively. While the Knight of Wands reverse, you're releasing your control or releasing your grip on whatever this is. Especially if it's a fire sign, Aries, Sag, Leo. I think you're going to be avoiding this person like the plague. Why am I getting all these like different ways of describing this shit? Like avoiding this person like the plague. But I just get, let's see, why the 4 of Pentacles reverse? Yeah, I just get that you're not going to work on it. In fact, I think you gained a new perspective over this. Ultimately, why the Fool reverse? The Moon reverse. Something got revealed about someone's dirty deeds. I get ultimately, though, you're going to find yourself like letting something go. Whether it's this week or any other time, I think you may find yourself letting something go, especially after some sort of injustice. Because, you know, sometimes why do I get a delayed feeling, a delayed reaction? It's like you don't know the severity of something until later on. And it's like, oh shit, like, and it get revealed to you that this was some sort of injustice. I was like, you know what, I'm done. Like, it's not in terms of like, oh, I'm just reacting later. No, it's just more so like, no, this is really fucked up in nature, what just transpired, and I can't ignore that ultimately. And I think ultimately you're not gonna push yourself to accept something or push yourself to like deal with something in that way. One more card for Pisces this week. You're gonna be focused, like healing or just resting, pulling back your energy at this time, and figuring out which direction you want to go moving forward out of a situation. Why the Four of Swords here? Like, what is the best move out of this, or what is the best move to go from point A to point B? Why the Four of Swords here? But I just get all, yeah, it's a burden. Yeah, you're relaxing because like whatever this is that transpired, Pisces, it was a lot of conflict involved, a lot of like people involved, because this is my a lot of people involved card. If you, I don't know why I want to explain this, but if you look at the traditional Rider-Waite deck of the Five of Wands, you can see multiple people fighting with wands, and it's like a whole scuffle going on amongst men, or yeah, men. I just get I just get that there's multiple people involved, and it was weighing heavy on you, and it's like you had to pull back your energy in order to like figure out, okay, what is the best way out of this situation? What is the best way moving forward out of this situation? Let me process the situation, let me regroup, and then let me come back and make a decision, or come back and like take some action then. But until then, I got to make some healing choices. Like, you're up in it, but I do get ultimately you're up in the air about what you want to do. But I guess until like the best way for you is to take a step back and then find yourself moving forward from a situation here. One more card. Yeah, you're going to see what is the best way out, or what else is out there for you. Ultimately, what is your wish fulfillment? What is it that you really want out of your life, Pisces? Because if this thing did not work out, if this thing was just causing too much drama in your life, I think you're going to be more so now tapping into your inner self, not your inner child, but just your inner self, and then listening to yourself and not listening to the external. Is like, okay, it's a lot of noise going on, it's a lot of this, it's a lot of that, but what is it that I truly want, and where do I see my life going in the next few years? Not saying that's literally how you're thinking, but I just get ultimately you're just trying to see, where do I see myself outside of this? Where do I see myself outside of that, is what I get. So that's what I get for you this week, ultimately, Pisces. My iPad is about to fucking die, so let me go ahead and do the collective. And I may pop on here and do the, hold on, shit. Okay. All right. Let me see. All right. Let me go ahead and do the collective here. And then we're going to tie out the reading with a card of the week. So, what's coming up for the collective this week? All right. What is the collective message I can give to all signs, Aries to Pisces? Release your control over something. Release your control over something. If something were to come back around, release your control over it, or release your like anticipation of it. Let's see what's coming up for the collective this week. There's gonna be some communication coming from either you or someone else here, offering some type of couples love or some sort of love offering, peace offering possibly. I just get that, but there's someone here that needs to release control. Why the Devil reverse? Something gets revealed. Something from the past get revealed. Memories from the past gets revealed. Like some sort of memory comes back around. Someone may come back around and try and remind you of something that happened in the past. The emotion, like if it's a connection, for example, that means someone's coming back around to remind you of the good days between the two of you. But if it's something else, it's like something that I don't know. It's just some sort of memory that comes back around. I also get lingering memory here. Why the Knight of Swords here? Heartbreak. There's heartbreak involved. You're loosening your grip. And someone may be communicating that something hurted. Something hurts. Why the High Priestess reverse? Why is that there? Clarifying the Devil reverse. Why is that there? 2 cards. Someone no longer wants to get to a situation emotionally. Someone's trying to hold it together, but they can't hold it together no more. Why do I get a broken dam? Like a, you know how a dam breaks and shit? Why the Three of Swords here? Shit. Someone's waiting. But there's blocks here. Could be a Leo involved, but does not necessarily have to be. I just get someone's releasing their grip on something after something really did hurt them. Why do I get someone don't understand the magnitude of what they did? Someone don't understand. It's like it's glossing over them, like what someone did. But I think someone's trying to hold it together and try to present themselves as like someone that is like, I just get ultimately collective. Someone need to loosen their grip on something that is hurting them. And I know y'all came across this image where you see someone holding on to a rope so tightly. And then like when they release the rope, all that tension in their hand gets released. Their hand becomes like a lot looser. It's not painful. I just get someone here that I'm reading for collectively needs to loosen their grip on something that really did hurt them. It could be something that happened in the past, a lingering memory from the past that needs to be released, or something that needs to be processed thoroughly, emotionally, so they can properly move on into the next phase of their life. One more card for the collective here. Something's unresolved though. There's something unresolved, but I get ultimately, I keep getting, give yourself that peace when that situation isn't giving you that peace. Give yourself that like closure when that situation is not giving you that closure. Give yourself that freedom. Don't no longer fight the ending. I mean, whatever this is that is transpired, that is ended, collective, let it wrap up and just allow yourself to just loosen your grip. It may be a lingering memory, but guess what? It's not physically there anymore. Of course, it's like, for example, someone gets hurt, like scrape their knee, falling off a bike. Guess what? Okay, it's going to sting for a little bit, right? But over time, it's going to heal. And then let's say someone gets a scar, they get a scar on their leg from that bike scrape when they fell off their bike. The memory is still there, but you learn how to work with it as you move along. As you, like, it may still have that imprint in some way, shape, or form, but that does not mean that it has pain attached to it anymore, or it doesn't have that, like, control or that grip over you anymore, if that's making sense. Why the Death reverse? Move to calmer waters. Like, just understand that, like, let justice do its thing. Let the scales be balanced within his... Just let the scales be balanced. I do see the Wheel of Fortune reverse behind it. But I do get ultimately, collective, whatever this is, it may have left an imprint on you, but it no longer have control over you. This memory may still be there. You can't forget that easily, but it no longer have control over you in your present moment. I just keep getting ultimately loosening your grip. Loosening your grip. Why are you so angry? You guys are dying of thirst. I don't know why I get that. But I just get ultimately, collective. Allow yourself to make peace in that situation, or make peace in memories that left you feeling hurt, or left you feeling betrayed, or left you feeling this. Easier said than done. Trust me. Trust me. I know it's easier said than done. But there's a way to give yourself that peace of mind when you allow yourself to find that closure. Because sometimes, even if you were to get that quote unquote closure from that person, will it ever be enough? So even if that thing left an imprint on you, collective, ultimately, I just know that it wasn't in vain. Just know that if you got, like, things did not work out, or things left you up the creek without a paddle, just know things are working itself out. And that lingering memory or that lingering pain, it no longer have control over your life. Don't allow it to have control over your life. You are allowed to move on. Like, for example, you fell off that bike. Does that mean that you got to stop getting on the bike, like getting on any other bike? No. You just learn, hey, let me just put on some knee pads so that way I can prevent scraping my knee. Let me be more cautious. Like, let me do things differently this time around. I'm not going to let it stop me from getting on my bike again because I love my bike. I'm not just going to ride it once just because of one simple scrape on my knee. But I'm going to go ahead and continue to ride my bike. Just going to be more safe and be more like strategic with how I ride my bike. So that's what I get. Don't allow that scrape, quote unquote, figuratively, that scrape to determine or have control over the narrative. You love riding your bike, right? So don't let one scrape stop you from living your life. So that's what I get for you this week, collective. Hopefully that made sense. That was more so figuratively than like literally. So that's what I get. Now, what I'm going to do is have a card for the week. So for those that did not get a message from your zodiac sign or the collective, I always pull one of these. So if you don't get anything else out of this reading, you at least get a card of the week. Something you can, I can part ways with you on for this week or just for this reading in general. So let's go ahead and get that situated and then close out this reading. All right. What is it that the collective shall know for the week of January the 12th through the 18th, 2026? What is it that they need to know? What is it that the collective shall know? Oh, shit. This is kind of harder to shuffle on my legs. What is it that the collective shall know for this week? What the fuck? Hold on. I'm going to keep it in there because, hey, not perfect. What is it that the collective shall know? What is it that the collector shall know? I see the word peace. Let's see. What is it that the collector shall know? I done jumbled up these damn cards. What is it that the collector shall know for this week? Okay. What is it that the collector shall know for this week? Y'all, I bullshit you not. Didn't I just say that? Hold on. I'm keeping that shit in there. Nope. Call me a fucking psychic. I get peace. May you know peace. Bottom of the deck inspiration. You can't make this shit up. I literally just said, I just see the word peace. It was flipped up. Let me read. Oh my God. I literally just said that. And I went straight to it. All right, collective. May you know peace in the core of your being. May you breathe in and out and know that everything is exactly how it should be and you're exactly where you are supposed to be. May the lightness of peace guide you. May it be friends with strength and hope. And if peace seems far off, identify what needs to be removed or changed to make space for it. May you know peace. Collective, if that ain't a damn message, I don't know what to tell you. Usually these cards be in conjunction to the collective. I bullshit you not. That. Whoa. Yes. That made sense. You gonna let that scrape stop you from moving forward? Or are you gonna get back on that bike? Put on some knee pads, get back on that bike and ride your bike freely? You deserve to give yourself that peace of mind and remove whatever it is that's not giving you that. Make peace with those things. Easier said than done, but make peace with it. So that's what I get for the collective this week. That's what I get for you guys this week. If anything, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please be sure to hit it with a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And also, yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video that I post. See ya. Toodle-doo.